Ever wondered about the real story behind fairies? They're not just simple winged creatures. They have deep histories. Think about it. Fairies have two main groups, the kind Seelie court and the darker Unseelie court from Scotland. But how do they relate to us? Imagine a dark fairy trading its child for a human one. The Changeling tale makes us think, is it just a story or something scarier? Some parents even feared their own kids were changing. What about leprechauns? These green-clothed figures are known as tricksters, but why? And house fairies. Are they friends or pranksters? Would you trust one in your home? Banshees scream loudly. Are they warning us or just mourning someone? Some say fairies were once gods, maybe even heavenly beings. In ancient European cultures, terms like fae, fairfolk, and fairy describe magical beings with incredible powers. Dragons, elves, goblins, dwarves, and fairies all fall into this category. The stories between humans and fairies can be heartwarming or spine-tingling, going beyond just bedtime stories. To understand them, we need to explore their many forms and stories. Scottish legends categorize fairies into two groups, the Seelie and Unseelie. The Seelie court is home to kind fairies. They're beautiful and often help humans. They operate mainly during sunny days. If a human wrongs them, they seek to set things right. In contrast, the Unseelie court houses the darker fairies. They're more mysterious and operate in colder months, often causing trouble for humans. They're known to swap their children with human babies. Fairies can be communal, solitary, or domestic. Communal fairies live in societies, solitary ones prefer being alone, and domestic ones help in human homes in exchange for care. So, when you imagine a fairy, think beyond small winged beings. Not all have wings, and they come in various forms and sizes, far more diverse than we think. Changelings are fairy beings that replace abducted humans, usually kids. Although they mimic the human's appearance, differences like facial hair and big eyes often give them away. Changeling stories are often somber. They're sometimes called oafs because they're considered ugly fairy offspring. Fairies replace the humans they abduct with changelings for various reasons: servitude, punishment, or love. To retrieve their child, parents could try making the changeling laugh or, more harshly, subject it to pain. Unfortunately, this led to mistreatment of kids, especially those with physical differences, being labeled as changelings. Some stories say fairies abduct humans for marriage or to care for fairy babies. In such tales, a magical log mimicking the victim is left behind. This log would soon die, leaving families in mourning. A notable case is that of Bridget Cleary, killed by her husband in 1895, believing her to be a changeling. The changeling's tale is one of heartbreak and misunderstanding. Leprechauns, those mischievous little fairies known to many, have quite the story behind them. Primarily depicted as crafty cobblers, they are famously associated with the color green. However, dig a little deeper and you'll find they originally donned a striking red ensemble. David Russell McCann's Irish Wonders dives into Irish mythology, detailing various supernatural beings, and offers a unique perspective on leprechauns. He presents them as neither purely good nor evil, rather as playful tricksters of Ireland. Standing just about 3 feet tall, they wore red jackets, breeches, gray or black stockings, and a vintage-style hat, all complementing a wrinkled, elderly face. McCann's mentions that while group-oriented fairies prefer green, solitary ones like leprechauns opt for red. In the shadowy corners of ancient lore, whispers tell of beings guarding mounds of glistening gold. To ensnare such a creature might grant one the key to untold riches. But beware, their cunning knows no bounds. Legends recount a tale of a naive farmer who cornered a leprechaun, greed lighting up his eyes. Eager for the hidden treasure, the farmer demanded its location. The sly creature conceded, but not without its own ploy. Leading the farmer to a treacherous bog, the leprechaun had him mark a spot. But alas, every marker mirrored the other, making it impossible to discern. Fooled and forlorn, the farmer was left with naught but regret. Historian McCann's highlights their estrangement from their fairy kin, hinting at tales of exile or perhaps an intentional solitude. In the shadows of old homes, the whisper of brownies can be heard. These solitary specters labor under the cloak of night, silently easing the burdens of housework. But their aid comes at a price: a slice of cake, a drop of milk, a dollop of cream. Leave these tokens, and fortune may smile upon your dwelling. But a misplaced broom or a shifted chair might just send them away, their absence felt keenly. Neglect or, worse, enrage them, and they transform into boggarts, embodiments of malevolence. They delight in wreaking havoc, curdling milk, tormenting innocent animals. Their tenacity is legendary. Fleeing your home offers no respite from their relentless torment. But folklore offers a glimmer of hope. A horseshoe hung on your entrance or scattered salt might just fend off their malicious advances. In the misty moors of southwest England, the air is thick with tales of pixies. Reminiscent of the impish Cornish sprites of literature, they dwell within ancient stone circles and sacred mounds. Often they exude an air of innocent mischief, their laughter echoing as they dance, sing, and play their tricks. Although their pranks might sometimes sting, their hearts bear no malice. These creatures, often envisioned as diminutive winged figures with pointed ears and an ethereal presence, were once believed to dress in tattered attire. Yet bestow upon them a gift of new garments, and they might become your most ardent protectors. Time has morphed their origins, intertwining with religious tales. With the spread of Christianity across Britain's rugged landscape, a new theory emerged. Pixies, it was whispered, were the souls of children, unbaptized and caught between the realms of life and death. In this liminal existence, their childlike essence remained, forever playful, forever innocent. Originating from Irish folklore, the Banshee is a captivating yet eerie figure found in many modern cultures. The term Banshee is ancient Irish and translates to woman of the fairy mound. These ghostly women, whether appearing young or old, are distinct with their red, tearful eyes, bearing witness to countless sorrows. They wail mournfully, and their cries are said to herald an impending death in a family. While you might already be familiar with their legend, these creatures have a rich history. Banshees are believed to be the restless spirits of young women who faced violent or tragic ends. Some say a banshee was once a woman wronged by her own kin, forever harboring a deep resentment, lingering until those she despised meet their own demise. Others believe banshees are young women who died prematurely, now lingering protectively around their families, their songs filled with deep sadness. In regions like Scotland and Ireland, the term keening woman may be used, hinting at the age-old ritual of keening, a heartfelt expression of grief and respect for the departed, not quite singing, but laden with repetitive rhythm and emotion. Sometimes a banshee's wails are heard days in advance by the very person whose death they foretell. When multiple banshees are seen together, it signifies an important or notable death. Contrary to some beliefs, banshees aren't inherently evil. They're just messengers of the inevitable, yet their presence is undeniably chilling. There's a widely held belief that fairies were once pagan gods. As time wore on and beliefs shifted, these once revered deities were relegated to mythical status. Some narratives suggest fairies were once angels, but became the in-between when God closed heaven's gates during a celestial rebellion. The virtuous remained angels, the wicked turned to demons, and those undecided became fairies. By the 17th century, the church began to view these entities as malevolent spirits. Even the benevolent house spirits like brownies and hobgoblins were cast in a sinister light. Associating with these fairies, or even sharing their tales, often meant dire consequences for the teller. Parallel to these beliefs, Scotland and Ireland also hold the view that fairies are reincarnations of the dead. On Halloween, it's believed a fairy named Sloof or Sluch flutters about. This cloudy entity is imagined as a swarm of spirits of the departed banded together. Before the influence of Christianity, these beings were part of the feared unseelie court, bringing grief and sorrow in their wake. With the church's influence, the description of the Slough evolved, no longer just fairies but now spirits of sinners, forever trapped in the skies. Are these stories mere legends, or are they echoes of a mysterious magical world that once coexisted with ours? Let us know in the comments, smash that like, and subscribe for more.